Also interesting in the Russia front are drones.
Drone strikes have saved lives.
Can we shoot them down if over our property?
Drones.
Okay, this is the New York Times, and they have a headline here. The first shipment of Iranian military drones arrives in Russia. All right, Russia's got military drones. Iran delivered to Russia the first batch of 2 types of military drones this month as part of a larger order totaling hundreds of aerial war machines, according to an Iranian advisor to the government and 2 U.S. administration officials who were not authored to speak on the record. So they're not supposed to say anything except we will say it to New York Times. All right, this is just a clown show. American officials said Russia could deploy the Iranian-made drones in its war against Ukraine to conduct air-to-surface attacks, carry out electronic warfare, and identify targets. Iran has officially said that it would not provide either side of the conflict with military equipment, but has confirmed that a drone deal with Russia was part of a military agreement that predated the invasion of Ukraine. Oh, how convenient. We did this before. We made the deal. We got to follow through with the deal. Who do you think we are, crooks? Over several days in August, Russian transport aircraft loaded the drone equipment in an airfield in Iran and subsequently flew to Russia, according to the 2 U.S. officials. It's a lot of info they're dropping for a couple of U.S. officials who aren't supposed to say anything. But the first shipments of Iranian supplies drones, the American officials said, have had mechanical and technical problems. Oh, interesting. The drone shipment and the mechanical problems was earlier reported in the Washington Post. Iran's military deal with Russia is part of a larger strategy by the Islamic Republic to pivot toward forming strategic economic partnerships with China and security partnerships with Russia. Okay, and it goes into Trump and stuff like that. So the thing to take away here, I think, so far anyway, and won't read the whole thing, is that we have, Iran shipping drones to Russia. We have issues with the actual drones themselves, like technical difficulties. But, this is what we are told. We are told, Iran had a deal with Russia before, so we got to send him some stuff. But where did Iran get those drones? This is the Washington. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is AP. Yeah, AP News headline. U.S. Russia running into problems with Iran-made drones. So this is a whole article talking about it. Russia has faced several technical problems with Iranian-made drones acquired from Tehran this month for use in its war with Ukraine, according to Biden administration officials. The officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the U.S. intelligence assessment did not detail the quote-unquote numerous failures. They added that the U.S. assesses that the delivery of Mohajer 6 and Shahed series unmanned aerial vehicles over several days this month is likely part of a Russian plan to acquire hundreds of Iranian UAVs. The Associated Press reported last week that Russia had recently obtained hundreds of Iranian drones capable of being used in its war against Ukraine, despite UN warnings to Tehran not to ship them. Russian operators continue to receive training in Iran on how to use these systems, which can conduct air-to-surface attacks, electronic warfare, and targeting on the battlefield in Ukraine, the officials said. So you can tell what parts of these reports, are from. Sorry about that. You can tell what parts of the reports are from the intel operatives here because it's repeated in multiple articles. AP here talking about the systems that can conduct air-to-surface attacks, electronic warfare, and also identification. So some kind of surveillance. Let's see. The White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby, blah, blah, blah. Where's the part where they ran into problems? Okay, here we go. It says the administration officials confirmed details of Iran supply Russia with drones at the moment when the White House is also trying to prod Tehran to resume its compliance with the 2015 nuclear deal. The administration last week completed its review of Iran's comments on the European proposal to restart the agreement that was brokered during President Barack Obama's administration and scrapped in 2018 by President Trump. Trump's the reason why they're having technical difficulties. But I just want to go into the time machine and remind people of some things. This is from, This is from an article that was published by the Atlantic Council. Now, if you remember who the Atlantic Council are, they're part of a group, a think tank that are trying to establish the Atlanticism or something like that. And, of course, you can relate that to, the lost city of Atlantis and trying to resurrect Atlantis and things like that. But actually, this isn't that old. This is from November 2021. And the article here says, Iran's drones are clones. Now they're being used in multiple conflicts. And in here, it goes into detail. We don't have to get into all of it here, but it goes into the detail of the technology that these drones have, the U.S. drones. And let's see the excerpt about Iranian drones. So there's an excerpt from a book called Drone Wars: Pioneers, Killing Machines, Artificial Intelligence, and the Battle for the Future by Seth Fransman. And here's what it says from the book. The battle in the skies over Iran was about possessing the latest intelligence capability. Much like U-2 flights over the Soviet Union in the Cold War, the RQ-170 was supposed to be a game changer. It was supposed to be able to fly up to 50,000 feet and pack numerous sensors into its stealth body. It might be able to sniff for chemicals, a Rand Corporation analyst said. Sentinels had full motion video, FMV, the latest technology being affixed to drones. This video eventually, combined with high definition, HD, when combined with a map that shows where the drone is, can help analysts see potential suspicious activity quickly and combine all the metadata with other sensors. Moving from analog to digital, the integrating it with forces on the ground so that everyone sees the same picture would change the way war is fought. Sentinel was a layer in that quiet revolution. Iran wanted to grab hold of that revolution like a man riding a bull and take advantage of U.S. advances. General Amir Ali Hajizadeh was leading those efforts from 2011 to 2020. He gained the personal blessing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran. Khamenei believed in the Iranian drone program and its efforts to counter Americans' drone army. Having secured support from Iranian leadership, Hajizadeh pushed Iran to down more U.S. drones, eventually acquiring not only the Sentinel, but also the Predator, Reaper, Scan Eagle 5, and even the Israeli-made Hermes. So, the U.S. is the arms dealer of the world. And if you can't, not legally, if you can't get the weapons into the hands of the alleged enemy on some kind of bureaucratic way, you can get around that. Easy. You fly them up, over your alleged enemy territory, and then you have them shoot them down, or something malfunctions and they fall. And then, all of a sudden, Iran has the technology to build the clones, which is now being reported. I don't know if it's the exact same drones, but, Iran sending Russia drones, which, by the way, isn't Russia enough of technologically advanced enough to have their own drone technology? Why are they asking Iran for the drones? I find that very interesting. Almost like they're trying to create the factions of the world, the East versus West, World War III, picking teams. Obviously, Iran is part of the China-Russia faction, so don't listen to them. Bunch of crazy Russians and Putinists. But yeah, so, I just find it strange that I have a hard time believing that the U.S. or, the intelligence apparatus, or if you, go even higher up, the sort of colloquially the lizard people elite. It'd be hard for me to believe that they're not in charge of creating these teams and then eventually, obviously, pulling off some kind of war. Now, I had another point about that. I'm trying to remember what it was. Multitasking on the show, I tend to forget what points I was going to make. Oh well, maybe it wasn't as important. I remember. It makes me think the advancement in technology that we've had in the 20th century and beyond, all this technology, the explosion of technology, and the 1947 sort of lore, the mythology, the modern mythology of Roswell, very similar. If you put it in the context of these nation struggles, right, between nations and deals and blah blah blah. Iran basically shot these foreign drones down and reverse engineered it to create their own. So and the US is playing sort of the God figure, lowercase g, but they're sort of playing the God figure here. Oh, let's just, provide them with the technology. And then, oh no, it fell to the ground. Ah, you have a gift. Take the gift, my children, and create your clones and then give them to the Russians. And then we shall have an excuse to blow you all up. That kind of thing. If you put it in the context of the elite working with the UFO conversation, the same thing can be true from, the elite lizard people or whatever, sort of dropping the technology for humanity to reverse engineer and to eventually enslave. So, thought that was a little rundown. That was good for this episode. We usually try to do a Ukraine-Russia thing on Wednesdays because, middle of the week, people are tired. It's hump day, the whole deal.